How's your day, ladies and gentlemen? I am finally back here. Just saying hi in the chat and should register. Yeah, we are registered today, ladies and gentlemen, and today's videos is just about DMC5, and I will be reacting to live videos to make sure that everything is just, okay. And as I said to one of my viewers, especially if you don't see the short, I will basically kind of like advertise my shorts. So where's my short? To my YouTube channel. By the way, guys, this is actually my YouTube channel. As you can see, I have posted already 39 videos of shorts, and all of these are shorts. Especially I have Lupa recently, and so far everything is looking good, especially with my statistics, to be fair. My statistics are just fine. I personally just do not, as expected, that these are pretty just good, and nobody like my last ditch effort. This is actually my last ditch effort on the actual gameplay of Clair Obscur, especially when the mob is about to escape. So I just decided to use my combo to stun this guy for good, and yeah. And of course, I actually got, in the last stream, we played Wuthering Waves, and what we did is actually just played the entire second half of the story quest, and I would probably say that the story is pretty good, but, the patch is also good, but not necessarily the skins, I'm still saying skins are just meh. Let them cook for a moment, so let me have my reaction. We continue. I just need to make sure that everything is okay. I'm going to show you that yeah. So here's are my recent videos. To be fair, here are some of my recent videos. So I haven't really prepared my actual video clips. I haven't even started the edit, so I'll be editing at least like one video later, so that by Sunday I will be actually bombarding with some edited videos, or probably like tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, my goal is only for today is to block at least like 2 hours. 2 hours is just pretty good. Honestly, guys, just like the video. Of course, if you're one of my short viewers, please watch my streams so that I can talk with you guys. It would be very nice for you guys to talk with me, though. It would be so good to see you guys. And of course, hang on. Yeah, but pretty much we're gonna be doing DMC5 for today's, and then of course, yeah, not, all right, so yes. Alright, DMC5, let's play through. And of course, one of my viewers in my short viewers is that, I did promise to one of my viewers that I will be finishing most of my skills, and to show you guys the truth that I actually almost unlocked every skills. All of my Yamato, Beowulf, Mirage Edge, and Mirage Blades are already all unlocked. Except for the abilities, of course, which is except for the enemy step, get more orbs, and of course CEX provocation, which is fine personally. So let's begin our mission 6. I think it's actually mission 6. So let's go back to our main menu just to make sure that mission 6 should be my next, this one. 6 to 8. I'll remind you that 6 to 8. While I was actually off, I was actually practicing, or even enhancing my actual knowledge in the DMC5, French, gameplay itself. And yes, I was able to figure out. And I honestly know how to get concentration, especially if you still guys recall back in the days where my early days in DMC5, where I was actually questioning myself the fuck out, how am I not able to execute the judgment cut judgment cut, and that's because the actual concentration bar is actually very low. It's obviously that I'm a new player, and yeah, get it done, right? It's just pretty much easy. Mutating Titan Gilgamesh. What the how am I? Oh, this is the actual entity that was there all along. What do you mean I'm gonna be fighting the dude? What the fuck? Hang on.
Go to hell. It's over.
Get him out! Combo! Oh fuck, he's gonna shrug me off. Oh great. What is he gonna do? Wait, I can actually continuously jump with this dude. Get the heck out of here. Air jumping by 60 minutes. Oh, I got a new achievement for that. Come on, give me some flight here, bro. Where are you, Mr. Get him out. Nope. Oh, keep dodging. Oh, freak. Go, go, go. Oh! Yeah! Get him out of here. Oh, get me out. Get him out, get him out. Press, 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 press.
Go to hell. It's over.
Oh shit. Oh shit. That should be good. Oh! Sheesh! Double JCE, boys! Double JCE in just one shot. Sheesh! I wasn't ever expected to have a double JCE. Holy crap, my actual stream was just fucking dying the entire time. It just tanked though. Double JCE, sheesh. That was a pretty good fight though. Double JCE, that was pretty good. Kid you not. So I wasn't really expecting to fight a single boss. You know, the boss that kind of just, you know, immediate boss. For some reason, I just killed the boss immediately. I wasn't expecting to fight immediately the boss. The fuck? That made me question the heck out of myself, though. By the way, for the quality of my streams, I hope it's just fine, though. Personally, yeah. So mission 17. So this is actually mission 7. I never expected to fight the boss, especially on mission 6. Huh? Boss already? What the heck? So I'm just gonna be marking that as my mission 6. Wait. Then what happened to the boss, though? I don't know if there was a hidden... I don't really know if there was a hidden gem on the mission 6. Let's see. Nice. Let me see if I could do this.
Go to hell.
No, you cannot. It's a wall, an impenetrable wall. Wait, where do we actually get this one, though? I personally don't... Wait. Control. Hold control. So we go straight. Got it. Yeah. You go straight. Get him out of here! Double! Boom!
Go to hell. Go to hell. Scram.
Oh, parry! That was a good parry. Get the heck out of there. That was a pretty good parry, though. I hate those white ladies. Sheesh. Well, how can we actually... So are we going back somewhere here? Okay, let me see the... So we're going straight. We have no choice but to go straight. So we're on the train. Okay, finally found this. Thank you for the additional, you know... I think the actual next one will actually cost me around like 25 to 35, I think. That would be the... no, I think it's 35. I'm not really sure. Control. So it's straight. So, except for this one. Yeah, golden orbs. Thank you very much. Lovely. Alright. Come on. Get me out. Alright, there is no hidden. Alright. This is the only way. I assume. Yeah, we're freaked. Great. Wait. Oh, that's a spawner? Hell yeah, I'm gonna be grinding those.
Go to hell.
Yeah, some free kills, I guess. Let me do the World of VA, mate. Let me do the World of V if I could do this. If I do this... Yeah! There it is! World of V!
We both spring from the same.
Yeah, that was the World of V. You can actually cast the World of V even if at the... You just keep spamming A and D and you're pretty good. That's how the world of V is. Especially, it got me want to research about the world of V. It's one of the actual, you know, things that even if I played a bit, like, how many hours though? I really want to check my Steam after this. After mission 7, let's check Steam. Oh yes, we finally unlocked this. We can actually use the Stinger if we want to, but the Stingers are just long term. Yep. Oh really? Dio! I can see Dio! Wow. Finally. Hello! How are you doing? I'm good. It seems that the reason why you played, you know, you visit because this is your, I assume, your favorite game. Honestly. I think it's your favorite game. Right? Hang on. By the way, I'm just pretty fine, to be fair. Just here do your old normal stuff, by the way. So, I don't know how is my video quality on your side, but if it's great, then nice. And... whoa. Whoa, what? That was quite shocking. OMG, I like the energy, it's so cool. Oh, thanks, by the way. Thanks, by the way. Ooh, what's this? On stream, my stream is just pretty good. I don't know how's the quality though, that's the difference. This guy is not about to escape. Okay, we gotta kill those. Alright, good. Where's about to escape? Nice. Yo. By the way, do you play this game? I really am wondering. That's the question though. I really am interested. Are you fine? Are you a fan of this game? The Devil May Cry 5. Wait. Where is the way? Where's the way? Oh. I think it's here. I think it's here, I think. Oh god, what is this? But this is... I think we're doing puzzles here. Mission 7 is quite a bit long. Do you actually play this game though? Or are you a fan of the music? The reason why you were here is because of this combo or Bury the Light. The song is the Bury of Light. I wonder. I would love to see if you would answer my question. Can't you find your stream? I can't find your stream schedule. It's mostly 4 to 5, but I cannot. I'm sometimes do not. My streaming schedule is mostly like. Hang on, let me focus first the fight before. Oh Oh, this is so fast. Actually, usually I am always live around 4. I'm usually live around like 4 or 5. That's my usual normal schedule. Sometimes I do around like 3 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. By the way, GMT East. So, and in this case, if I stream like around like starting stream around like 8 o'clock, considering it as late, especially my schedule will be quite a bit hectic. Since I do have class, and imagine having class plus, having class and your kind of subject is a bit hard. My course is a bit hard. However, I cannot really explain it properly. This is just me, okay? So, hang on, let me check my Kick. I actually do live on Kick too. I'll be real. If I would probably, do you want me to, by the way, create a schedule though? That's the question. The live stream schedule. Because sometimes my streams are not that inconsistent, especially having class hours, class. My name is Tommy Star. Let's connect on Discord if you don't mind. Wait. Wait. Twitch and Kick would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice though. By the way, are you gonna be selling some art though? The question is, the arts. That's the question I kind of ask myself. Oh, great.
Go to hell. Don't. That's wrecking.
All right.
Go to hell. Go to hell. It's over. Go to hell.
Nice combo. Hang on. By the way, you can just always share me the live stream and just vibe. By the way, I actually, have you never on your notifications though? Sometimes, by the way, when you do some Discord though, sometimes it makes me a bit uncomfortable when you are asking your user Discord, because I do have already done Discord though. Sometimes I don't get sometimes I don't get it, while sometimes I'm get them late. It's fine being late though. It's fine being late. That's fine. Usually I only stream around 2 hours. And by the way, the actual problem I had when people have Discords, when they kind of ask for Discords, like their names, their usernames, is the fact that, some of these people if I would be honest though, I hope you're not gonna get mad with this one. Is the fact is that some people will do a bit of a, you know, advertisement with their arts, because the thing is, I'm not someone else who is a bit rich, you know. I'm not rich though. I'm not someone who can actually afford, you know, you know, the artist some money though, because I don't, you know, I will admit this. It's really hard for me because my life here is just ridiculously too much too. I have some different priorities too besides, you know, streaming though. I go also to the gym and I also pay my money for the gym.
Go to hell.
But I want to ask you a question though. I really am gonna ask you a question. Do you play games like Wuthering Waves? That's the first question I really want to ask. Especially you are a viewer. Do you play Wuthering Waves, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, or maybe some other games though? If you do have some other recommended games, especially in Steam on you know, the Steam sale, I just really want to know what are your recommendations, your game recommendations, so that we can play. You know, so I can do some little bit of fun, you know. By the way, only get those that are $20 below, or just around like one, you know, like $30 should be the most maximum. Oh, great.
Out of my way. You're finished.
I keep dodging this. Yeah, let him cook there. For the time being, just let him cook there. He can't get near me. I'm not selling any energy, trust me. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I could do some Discord like an automatic notification though. Your FPS are cool, I like them. I just want to know how's my video quality though. That's the main question is. Even if as a user, you know, even if my monitor is pretty good, I don't know how's the quality for the users themselves. That's the main question though. Because the thing about this is that hang on. Alright, so FPS are games cool, although I like them though. Let me try to block this guy. Never expected that. FPS are cool. I like them. Maybe Valorant? Do Valorant as the question. Valorant. Honestly, I'm not really into the competitive part of the games, but that's fine. Maybe I could also play other games like Minecraft or something like that. With mods, by the way. Usually I love the stuff like the, you know, the engineer on, designing ones like that. That's most of my favorite genres. I really want to admit that. Those are my most favorite genres though. Especially like simulation games like that. Yeah, those are my favorite. By the way, if you want, you can actually also, if you have kick, that would be very nice too. Do I have enough? No, I don't have. That's 50,000. I thought it was 35. Damn, that was close. Do I have enough? No, I do not have enough. If I could do the judgment cut, and that's better. I will lessen my time. I think we are on the boss part. Hang on. Yeah, that's the boss part. This one I don't know. Oh, it's also the... No, it's different. If you're still here, by the way, so recommend games. By the way, before we do the boss, I actually don't know what about the Steam, because the problem here is that the Steam, there's a lot of sale between the Steam, and I wasn't really sure which one actually does, So by the way, there's my Steam though, by the way. There are lots of games that are really sale for now, and all of them are mostly likely, they're mostly affordable to me, to be fair. And especially these games are quite a bit affordable, especially, like, I can play games, games too. Like, for instance, let's search, because for now, I did search some other games too, like Hogwarts Legacy, which is pretty good too. By the way, do you like Hogwarts Legacy though? That's the thing I'm gonna ask though. If you're still here though, if Hogwarts Legacy is pretty good, it would be very nice though. Because Hogwarts Legacy is honestly, on sale, and I could play that after I play like Clair Obscur Expedition 33 or other games, because I don't I just play games, any games as much as possible. I want to try different games. But I haven't done horror games because it's not my style too. But I want to play like Phasmophobia though. I don't know if it's on sale. Oh great, what's this? Oh, we're near the Clyphot. Oh, we're so near the Clyphot. Ooh. Is there any boss around here? Like, for real? He was a boss. No? Is this mission quite a bit long? Oh great. Great, I just lost. Alright, so let me do something here, since I need to spam as much as possible. First soon. Good. Spam before they Nice. I think those things shut down though. Oh, there it is. There it is, guys. There's the main boss. And I haven't really... By the way, there's the main boss. Oh god, this is a main boss. I'm gonna be scared. Oh god. Here it is. At any moment. I haven't really seen any pathway though. Oh, Proto Angelo. Alright. Wait, I can't spam though. Spam. Woo! Give me these. I need these. Great. We'll just 1v1 this guy. Wait, why are we moving though? Where the fuck are we moving? Oh, we are moving? Oh shoot. Oh, we are moving? Oh, we are moving. Okay. So we are moving. I wasn't expecting that. Really? So we were moving the entire time? That's it? That's him? I was not able to do the JCE. Sheesh. So I can actually already unlock the mob jump, which is gonna be very useful. Yeah, very useful. Trust me. Okay, we can finally unlock the enemy step. Let's learn this. So that means most of my abilities are finally unlocked. Pretty good. Solid. Solid by far. Kid it not. So we're finally going to mission 8. Mission 8 is going to be our final one. So we still have like 35 minutes. Holy crap. We have a lot of time. At least like 1 hour for reaction. Sure. So we landed here. And I haven't found any orbs around like 6 or 7. Maybe I could find it soon later. Now I can jump on my enemies though. That's no big deal. Good. That's all I need. So we are around somewhere else in the bottom area, which is a demonic area, to be honestly. It's just way too demonics. Alright, stare down. There we go. Nice. Wait. What's this? Okay. Wait. Are we on the roots or something? We are looking at the roots. Yeah, we are on the roots or something. Looks like we're on the root of the tree. Yeah, it looks like we are arrived on the tree at the bottom area. Yeah, we're on the bottom area right here. Alright, it seems that we are on the bottom areas of this.
That's that.
Wait. Can I stab on my enemies? Perfect. Now nice. Alright, this time around we're so good. Okay, so we are here. Hang on, let me do this. Heh. That was a pretty good V1. Ooh! Get him combo though. Nice. Nice, savage. Pretty good. What was that? These are moving? Bro. Bro. These are moving stuff, man. Let me activate first this. Nice. Now our demon gauge is good. Oh, this is looking like an elevator. Oh. Yeah, it looks like an elevator for us to trip. Maybe I guess trip to Jerusalem, I guess. But it's a scary one. Wait, what's this? Looks like a trip. It's borrow at least of a little bit of our time. Just to get some red orbs. I just need to check if there's anything else that we missed. I hope nothing. Yeah, I hope nothing. There's nothing we did missed out. I'm not certainly sure what are these, you know. I'm not sure if I missed that out, but I hope I did not. Bro, let me not miss those. Yeah, the entire thing got devoured. Well, what's this? Oh, I see. Can we climb here? Yeah, we don't. We cannot. We cannot climb there. Ooh, nice. All right, we have. Yep. Those blades are nothing. Yeah, those blades are really nothing though. I don't know where the hidden items here. I hope we know. I hope we could know where are those hidden items. Okay, these conduits snake through output the Qliphoth, transferring blood gathered in the human world. Offer yourself to the flow and it will carry you deeper into the tree. But be warned, there's no turning back once you enter. Oh, bloodstreams. Yikes. Not an ideal one for your transport. What are these? These are teeth. These are teeth, man. Sheesh. Alright, we gotta go. Whoa. Whoa, it's like an elevator or something. Oh god, he's drenched. He's drenched. Look at Virgil's drenched though. He's drenched. Yep. He's not anymore drenched, but we did came from this spot there. Look at those. Those teeth. Sheesh. Sheesh, those teeth. I wasn't expecting though. Are those really teeth or something? Sheesh. Let me clip that for a moment. Like for real, bro. Thank you for the free orbs. Oh, geez. These are teats. Really does. Really is that scary, though. Those teeth. Oh! Get him out of here. No, my concentration is dead.
That's that.
Wait, it got stabilized somehow. Yo, so it did got stabilized. I wasn't expecting that. That was a weird fight, though. Could have do the cut though. Get him in, JCE. Nice. Damn, the cards got devoured. Could have done something much better though. Yeah. Sprint. Oh. Oh. What is this? They look like lava somehow. This is looking viscous as heck. Yeah. So where are we going? Oh, we're going there. Sheesh, this place looks like lava. I'm not really sure. Like we're in a volcano or something. We're in a volcano, bro. Bro, we're in a volcano somehow. Give me those. Could have swore I could have gone there. Really. Yeah, I could have gone there. I'll probably check it out next time. I wasn't paying attention to this part here.
Get lost.
Wait, how do I do judgment cut? Well, do we really care? Probably not. But I think I missed some sort of orb. It would be really bad for us if we missed out the orb. Jeez. Oh, the main fight is about to begin. Here we go. JC always is the best. Oh, we're going on a Clifot again. Nice. Give me those orbs. Those orbs are pretty yummy. And our concentration is back to level 2. But it seems that we have no choice but to get back into the... but to continue, I guess. Really do need some orbs though. I'm 100%. And we can't go back. So we gotta enter. We have no choice though. Ah, it's gonna get soaked in blood again. Yeah, we're gonna get soaked in blood. Jeez. Wait. Divinity stash. Use divinity stash to drink. Oh! Skills? Oh, what does this do? Oh, this is the first time I saw this one. For real. Hang on. So we now have 2 checkpoints, I guess. I see. A second checkpoint. Nice. I don't really think we have because everything is beyond expensive, especially for the EX provocation. Sheesh. We can get more orbs, but we could also get the purple orb or the blue orb for increased vitality. But since I already maxed out a lot, yeah. Why are we back here again, though? This looks like the same place, though, but this time it's not really different. But it gives me the vibes on the prologue, though. The prologue gives me an sort of vibes. I kid you not. So let's do this. Okay, great. Oh, there it is. Wait, but how do we get there? Wait, how do we get there? These deep. Are you kidding me? Why are we stuck here?
That's that.
All right.
You shall die.
Ha! There it is. Another Nope, not this time, bro. Too slow. Dodge. Keep dodging. Sorry. V-Tom. Yeah, it's cooked.
We both.
We are so cooked with this one. But how do we get there, though? Wait. Yeah, we missed one blue orb, so we cannot go there. So it seems like we need some sort of fast time just to get there. Well, let's just forget. Yeah, look at that. We could have actually gotten extra help for that. But that's fine. We could find many ways to get there. Probably I'll do it next time. Or probably when I'll be offline, though. Off stream, I'll do it. I need more health, though. Wasn't really paying attention that there would be certain amounts of time that you really need to. Great job, myself. Yeah, we're gonna be going back here. Why are we back here in the Horizon? This gives you the vibes again of the Horizon, though. Prologue. Sheesh. This is not anymore prologue, but there is something there. Alright. Oh, great. I think we're gonna be doing another fight.
That's that.
Nice. Got him down. We'll take these. Nothing else. I think we are prepared for another one. Right? We're gonna take another elevator. This time around, anything else hidden? Probably something a bit hidden. But why are there those hang on. Wait. Wait, this is an actual entrance? Wait, we can go down there. Wait, what's the main route? I think this is the main route. So that's the main route. So we're gonna be taking another way. Yep, not what I expected. So mission 8 I wasn't expecting mission 8 to be that long too. So this is the longest one. Great, how do we get there? There is a platform on the top. Maybe I could find my way to get up there. But how do we get up there? Do we really need to jump here to here? We could actually jump there. There's no problem us jumping there, but... Oh, we can. Great. Oh, red orb. Is that red orb? Yeah, that was a hidden detail. That was a pretty good hidden detail though. That was a pretty good hidden detail, but how do exactly I'm going to get there? All right. Yeah, this is a interesting platform too. What's this? Wait, a secret mission? This looks like to be a secret mission though. Wait, this is a secret mission though. Yeah, there it is. Get to the ground without touching the ground. Get to the goal without touching the ground? Okay, let's do the secret mission 5. Wasn't expecting to see a secret mission 5. Let's do it. Let's do the secret mission. What's my goal? Oh, I got it. Oh, great. No. Where's the goal? This is quite a bit... Oh, that's the goal? If I get to the ground, I'll fail. Look at that. Pretty sick, though. Let's retry. So it should be shift 3. Where was it? I didn't see that. I didn't see that. That's the last reaction time. Oh, there it is. Oh, great. I didn't see that. Dude, I can't see that. I don't see it. So I finally see the first one. Huh? Wait. Let's retry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's the challenge. Really good challenge though. Let's see again. Let's read it again. So we started here. Going top, and then there it is. There it is. Left, right, down. So we are actually ending up into the wrong spot, I think. Got it. No! No! It was so close! It was so close. Oh, great. All right, here, left, straight. All right. Next. Ah, great. Oh, I just hit that. We just hit the wall. So, that was a... This challenge is much more difficult than I anticipated, though. First... great. Great job. Great job myself, bro. Bro. Always remember to press shift. It will be very nice. Oh, we could have straight up went there. I wasn't even thinking about that. But if that was possible, that would be insanely good too. Or maybe I'm just making it harder for me myself, though. I'm pretty sure I'm making myself this harder myself. Alright, I'm just making myself harder though. Secret Mission 5 wasn't it? That wasn't focused there. Shift control. Woo! Sheesh, mission 5 is a bit harder than I anticipated. We gotta get first dose. That's a free gold ore for us, boys. We went area cleave instead of a spam on the sword. For real. Straight. Please! Oh! Ooh! We were at the end. There's no reaction. But it is irritating, to be fair. After this is so freaking difficult. Damn, bro. It requires a bit of a practice here. Literally practice, though. Do it. Do it. Come on. We can do this. You can do this. Myself. Motivation. Just keep doing it. You're motivating yourself. Never give up, guys. Never give up. I don't want to give up so bad. Why is not that working? What do you mean that was not working? I was already shifting. Dude, I was already shifting though. I was there. All right, good. Oh, freaking God, that took me quite a while. That took me so freaking long. How many times was that? Alright, we gotta go back. I'm tired of this one. This stupid secret mission. It's not secret mission gave me a freaking headache. That stupid mission actually gave me a really bad headache for that. Whew. Alright, we're entering another bloodstream, I guess. Are we actually... Wait, are we... Yeah, I think we're back in the old same place, though. I'll be real, we're back in this old same place. And why there is a truck here? This is a fur truck. We've been went here multiple times already. I don't think I can customize stuff, but that's because I've already unlocked most of my abilities though, except for the items. We can buy items though for absolute fun. We can surely buy them though. Blue orbs, but I really need the purple orb, not the golden orb. Purple orb, I'll remind you that. I could buy purple orb, but if I want to get more orbs with, you know, the range, then I will probably just unlock that first because, you know, it's very easy to unlock. Because that thing costs 60,000, and if we finished our quest, then that should be good. 100%. I think we're back again to the boss. Yeah, I think we're back in this area again.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Alright, anything else hidden? Ah, wait, this is the same path though. I kid you not, this is actually the same path. It's literally the same thing. I mean...
Go to hell.
Okay, so this is actually the same spot. Yeah, this is the same spot. Yeah, we're in the same spot. Yeah, we are gonna be... Are we fighting against this dude? Damn it, man. Wait.
Scatter like dust.
Speed run, just speed run, we can heal back. Just heal back, we can. I think I'm not really prepared for this one. He's obviously I'm not really prepared for this one. But damn it is! It is a prologue. Mission 8 is a prologue. So they did design this to make sure that Orzen is not being defeated, huh? Great. I wasn't expecting that. Maybe I could actually beat the heck out of him if I would have sooner or later some soon time, because he hurts very much. I kid you not, he hurts so much. So we are around 56, and finally we actually done mission 8. I think my entire missions. So clearly the secret mission 5 is so damn annoying. And then at the same time, mission select. So most of them are S. And we finally did S. So mission 8 itself is the entire place of the Clive 3. While mission prologue is actually the end part of the mission 8. Pretty insane. I could have done Judgment Cut with that dude. So bad. If it wasn't for the actual me being forced to do so. This makes me need to properly make my timings correctly properly, which, you know, allows me to have a much better one. So it is what it is. So yes, I am finally finished with my DMC. So I'll probably use my remaining 30 minutes to react at least to one video. At least one that will interested me. Or any of the viewers though. So let's see. I would change my entire, you know, so it's just snippets though. I'm just literally advertising. Stop copying Blue Sky. All right. So let me change my Twitch into just chatting. So just chatting should be good too. All right. And then this, and then stream, just chatting. Always remember just chatting though. These two things are just insane. Just chatting. Perfect. Honestly, I could have actually... Let me toggle that soon. Sooner or later, I will toggle the 18 plus. So, yeah, the 18 plus are just ridiculously because, you know, children, of course. What should I react to? I think I mean, Noxenor, Legal Mindset. These are the people that do react to. I mean, Noxenor is actually a pretty good guy, to be fair to me personally. I don't really see him, especially on my view, even though I'm not a friend of his. I kind of feel like he's kind of a good guy, though. A good, you know, one of the actual friendly NPCs if you're in a game, though. If in a world where we are living in a, you know, in a game, though, I'm pretty much sure is one of the supporting role NPCs, though. But it's not, I'm just saying it's just an, you know, situation in a world though. So what about Asmongold? Gamers Nexus. Ah yes, the GPU can be GPU too. Voice actors. Let me see. Modern audience. Yeah, I did. Oh, this one is something that I've never seen before. The Blue Sky users though. What about Legal Mindset? Oh, the Jolly Somali Conviction Team, the Bombshell. Ooh. Ooh, I'll probably just react to this one. Yeah, to stop killing games. In fact, I still recall that yeah. Let's watch this by Legal Mindset. I'll just make sure that, you know, already coping. You know, where is it? So unmute tab. It's just 30 minutes, but it will take quite a bit at least. With Andrew Eskier. Oh, sorry if I actually didn't react properly though.
The Stop Killing Games movement has already won. We're going to explain to you why here on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a topic that was heavily requested by people in my audience, and I've seen it all over the internet. And finally, I've had time getting through all the other topics to get to this one, and I think it's important because we're coming to the close of a very long and hard-fought campaign, and now is a time plan to push it over the top, as well as to explain some basics here and how this strategy worked, why it worked, and what happened there. Of course, is a
I believe this actual Stop Killing Games was actually its actual purpose, the Stop Killing Games, though, I'm pretty sure they already won, because I did check about their website. Is that the fact is that their website is actually already they already won. And they actually, in order for them to require, I think, in order for them to go for a petition, they really need to, or I think they really need to do 1 million, I think. So I haven't really read the requirements, to be fair, but the goal of this is to make 1 million signatures in the actual Stop Killing Games movement, in order for them to, what's, I believe, Sign U, is it Sign UK? I think no, it's the EU. Yeah, I think it's actually for the EU. I will kid you not. I believe the actual initiative actually is basically the entire EU, and it does require 1 million signatures in order for the 1 million signatures. And let me remind you that it is only EU citizens, European citizens. They are the only ones that are qualified in order for sign this kind of initiative. And reaching, I believe, 1 million is required for the European government. I think let's just pretty much assume the European government to take this initiative very seriously and enforce it to the entire world. Because the point of Stop Killing Games is the fact that if you pay the game, like for instance, you're paying $100 game, and after like 5 years or even 6 years, the game shuts down. This actual Stop Killing Games kind of prevents the entire prevents from the game from being inaccessible. Pretty much, it just prevents the game to be inaccessible, especially at their end of life, basically EOS, end of service. So basically, if having Stop Killing Games, Stop Killing Games actually is not really a bad situation, but I believe it's related to pirate software, where this Stop Killing Games, by the way, does look like it kind of harms the actual game development. But to be fair, the purpose of Stop Killing Games is not necessarily a bad idea, though. It's not really bad, but it does have a little bit of, I believe, a bit of work when it comes to being a game dev, because you're probably going to add the sort of a end life plan. Basically, if I would probably make an example of this, probably you would allow the users to access if you are a user, you will be able to access to, or basically kind of like you're able to play with your friends like that. You can actually create your own server for this game, and you can host it by yourself, which is fine. If you can host a server, like, in my case, by the way, I think it's kind of like a Minecraft server, though. If you understand the terms of Minecraft, you probably noticed that Stop Killing Games is not really an issue. Minecraft itself is not really a big issue when it comes to Stop Killing Games, because the thing is, even if Minecraft kind of ends its life of service, if you can actually just create a server and create plugins or even mods, yeah, the actual game will still bloom. And pretty much from what I understand, it's basically you are allowed to create your own servers too. Like, if you are playing a dead game and you created a server, you can actually play with your friends. But if you want to make your server at least like private or public or something, so that even all veteran players would play the game for fun, like in a server where they could actually just have fun instead of feeling like something else, like FOMOs or something like that. But I'm not really into this kind of I'm not really great when it comes to constructing my sentence. But to understand the summary, it's from what I said, summary itself is that Stop Killing Games is pretty much just allowing for end of life service to still be playable, especially when you play the game for money. And the thing is, if companies would actually just sold the game and then just add EOS again, say goodbye. That's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it.
Fast Facts premiere. If you keep liking the Fast Facts format, let me know in the comments below. So let's get into it without any further ado. So the Stop Killing Games movement. This largely, and this is my basic explanation, skimming over a lot of things, but
I believe this is the one that started the actual fiasco of the Stop Killing Games movement, especially when they shut this game down and some of the old players kind of like wants to play the game. Makes sense.
Giving you some background, it came out of Ubisoft and their game The Crew. And much like many other games, and I've talked about this in many other contexts, but many companies are moving towards games as a service. So no longer as a good or a product, but as a service. And
basically live service in a nutshell. It's live service itself. If you notice that these games like Genshin, Honkai, Star Rail, even gacha games as a whole, basically is an entire thing, are live service games where they kind of, make sure that they are updated like frequently. That's basically it. And I think that also Stop Killing Games pretty much like, Stop Killing Games basically also affects live service games too. So I'm pretty sure, for instance, like if Wuthering Wave is about to get the end of life of service or basically EOS, I think in EU they're not gonna be allowing, they should allow their citizens or their players to play the game even if the game itself is already kind of like dead, because they're kind of like they kind of love the they still love the game and they still will support it because it's really good. To be fair, they can do what they actually want in the server itself, whether they like to cheat in the game, because the problem is you can actually just cheat in the game if you want to do so, but if it is your own server, that's the thing. Basically, you can actually do whatever you want, especially when it comes to end of life of service. This is actually just fine to me personally, but as I said, Stop Killing Games is pretty much just giving a headache to the user, like to the game developers, not the users. But it will allow the game to persist for much longer. It's kind of like you're in a coma, like that. That's the kind of situation the game is like.
Insofar as that, they believe that.
By the way, this is just me kind of like understanding the entire thing too. Yeah.
Service can be terminated anytime they want, and The Crew was no different. The Crew is a game that was at one point supported by the company, but when they felt it wasn't financially working out, they said no.
That's because the reason why the Stop Killing Games also has the actual the reason why the Stop Killing Games also started is actually because the company wants money. Of course, in order for the company to breathe alive and becoming even more rich and be profitable, they're gonna do it. Because if they kind of added the life of EOS, they kind of added the end live support game where you can still access the game. Yeah, they're gonna cause some headache though. But if you can actually create a plan where a user or a person can actually set up their own servers for this game, it will be very nice. That's the only thing I can see. But personally, Stop Killing Games is just that. You can actually, if you are a user or you play the game, you love the game so much, you can just set it up. Like, that's no big deal. Think of it at Minecraft, as I said. As I said Minecraft before, look at Hypixel. Hypixel, if we're talking about like the 1.8, PvP combat there, basically I'm just relating or correlating the stuff. If we're talking about like the PvP 1.8, they still support the 1.8 is already dead, if you ask me. It's like the 1.8 is dead, but it's still alive currently. It's because it's being maintained by those servers. It's basically kind of like owning the game, or the, like owning the servers or owning the game, the 1.8 version itself. It's just like that. But honestly, I would probably just set up my own server if the games are already dead.
Nope, we're pulling the plug, and now this game you bought is just useless. It's garbage. You can't use this anymore. There's no offline mode. There's no private servers. It's just something you have to throw away because you can no longer play this game. It is now an unplayable game. So rightly so, people were upset about this. People said,
This is the problem, because if you play the game and you just kind of, if you play the game and then just if you play the game and just this EOS, imagine playing the game during its near of the East EOS. You're gonna be sad.
but hey, wait a second. When you buy a game, you're expecting to be able to play it, and you're expecting that even regardless of what the company does, you can play it. I'm still playing games that are from companies that are now defunct on my older console, stuff like that. You got old Game Boy games, old Nintendo games.
True.
Even if those are no longer supported, even if the company that made those is out of business, you can still play those older games. And the same goes for a lot of old software, etc. Even if it's no longer supported, you can still use that. And also, companies have really allowed it for the older stuff for private individuals to have updates, patches, etc. Of course,
yeah, that's what I'm mentioning before. I was mentioning before. If you're, for instance, like to cheat the game, cheat the game itself because it's already dead, you can do whatever you want, especially if you're on the private server. But I'm not really sure about the monetization part of the thing. Is that if, for instance, the crew itself is already dead, if you're someone else who wants to make the game revive and basically kind of like having a version 2, you're basically like still updating the game, but it's not on the company side, it's your side already. I don't know if that's allowed, because they abandoned the game. Like, I'm not really certainly sure about that, but that's quite a bit interesting too. If for instance if Minecraft is dead and then I myself got the game, maybe I could update the game myself. I don't know if Mojang would allow that or Microsoft would allow that. That's the actual question that I kind of have right now. If you're going to create a game and then you're going to update it and then add a bit of monetization, is it allowed? I'm not really sure about that.
Microsoft having none of that, allowing for none of those exceptions and saying, nope, you can't play the game. Well, the big key here, and let's get into is first the legal education side, because of course this is always...
Thank you very much, Legal Mindset, for this. I would love to appreciate this.
Educational.
This info.
Entertaining, is the good versus license. And a good is a tangible product being exchanged. So old school games were treated like goods, and same thing with stuff like movies, videos, old school stuff.
Yeah, get it.
Was mostly treated that way. And the law generally involving goods favors consumers. Now, there are certain things in there that do favor producers, that do favor the companies, but generally laws regarding goods across the world are generally favorable towards the consumer. If you were to buy a good, let's say a car, and it did not work, well, you would be entitled to have that car either repaired or restored, or get a new car that did work. You can't just sell people things that don't work, that don't function the way you expect them to function. You have an expectation as a consumer when you buy a product that it will be able to be used for its intended purpose. That's a reasonable expectation. And a game, you'd imagine you'd be able to play. Very simple logic there. Well, as a license, switching your mind to a license.
Yeah, if you're basically, I think Minecraft is already considered as a good game for me personally, because Minecraft itself 100% is considered already as a good, because you already purchased the game to make sure it is playable both offline and online. That's the case, because I kind of think Minecraft as a good, while Wuthering Waves and other gacha games with live service games are considered as license.
A license is permission to do an activity. So it's saying you can do an activity. We are giving you that permission. However, the law regarding licenses favors producers. And that's how the legal distinction is relevant, because with licenses, generally they are terminable, meaning they can be stopped at any time at the discretion of the person who grants the license.
Basically, in this instance, if we're talking about Wuthering Waves, it's Core Games.
So saying, essentially, hey, the company controls this, and whenever they want to stop it or whatever they want to do with it, that's up to them. They fully control this. And companies like this because, well, they like control. They like to be able to dictate what they...
Because they want money. I like money. For real.
can and can't, what they have to do, when they do it, the support, etc. And they want to control their product and how it morphs and how it goes, and they don't want to see people modding it or changing it in any.
This is actually the problem with Genshin games too. Like, you cannot really mod, especially when you do license, because you do not really own the game itself. And of course, even if you pay the game for its premium currency, you do not still own the game. It's really that quite a bit annoying though. But you do not own the game, and then you pay like thousands of dollars already. Right? Are you kidding me, bro? Like, for real.
Way, because they want you to just buy the new product. They don't want you to go and mod an old product and play that forever. No, no, no. They want you to go buy the second and third and fourth version. We've even seen this now with certain companies that want to shut down your older versions of games so you can't play them. Borderlands. So that said,
wait, what is actually, hang on,
of games so you can't play them. Borderlands.
This feels like, if I probably would understand this, it's basically like you are forced to do, you're forced, if I would create an analogy this, it's like, I'm freaking fucked. I think I'm really bad at creating this analogy because I cannot relate too much, because I'm only just recently starting to play games, like, for real.
So that said, what is Stop Killing Games? So Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement, and this is their own terminology, that started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they've sold to consumers, to customers, and increase.
I'm not really sure if gacha games or live service games are part of the Stop Killing Games, targets. I'm not really certainly sure.
A number of video games are effectively sold as goods, so they're marketed as goods, so they're advertised as goods. However, they don't have no stated expiration date. They indeed are designed to be unplayable as soon as the publisher decides to stop support. So
I'm not certainly sure if gacha games are going to be considered as part of this, because I'm just literally speaking to myself. I'm literally speaking because no one is going to be viewing this, but if I would post this on YouTube, that should be fine.
They are.
Is that I'm not really sure if, for instance, like horror games just go for EOS, the Wuthering Waves. Do you think that Stop Killing Games might be also in effect with these kind of games, because these games are considered as licensed though, and they're not sold, or they're not really considered as goods. They're licensed. I even checked the TOS of Akura Games themselves, and it's actually considered as license. You cannot really mod anything else. That's the reason why. Plus, a license is just permission. So having a license or permission makes you kind of like, you are limited to do this. You cannot do bad stuff with the game. But if you are a game, of course, like for instance, like Minecraft, you can actually just add mods, which of course, because the game itself, Minecraft, is actually considered as goods because you actually purchased the game. And by the way, Minecraft is already $30 and it's just expensive as fuck. But $30 is just expensive as fuck. But to be honest, $30 for me is already considered as cheap if it is permanent. And to remind you that is that skins that cost the same is at the same time, it's a license, and of course it can only be purchased by like premium, and if you don't use the character, you do not actually use the character, then where's that $30? Right? For real. Like $30. Where did you do it though? You cannot even mod a game though. Basically, this is considered, the skins are, I think are considered as official modded skins that are allowed by the publisher themselves. And if the game itself is a live service, then it's not really worth it.
Planning to
imagine having to see a game that dies after just few months. By the way, I believe it's Tribe 9. I believe that's the game, I think. Yeah, this is the game. Imagine spending the game here and just having it EOS already. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. And Tribe 9, I don't know if Tribe 9 will be part of the Stop Killing Games though.
at some point pull the plug. They're just not telling you when, and they're not advertising that up front. They're not being honest about the fact that they're going to pull the plug on this at some point, or if it becomes financially unfeasible. The practice is a form of planned obsolescence and is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of the practice is largely untested in many countries, and that is very, very true. It's a huge gray area. Now, the law varies from country to country, but this is something that falls in the cracks. And this is what lawyers like, and lawyers like myself. And once again, I say this having worked as legal counsel and having drafted many sort of arrangements where we grant people licenses because we don't want to give over control. We want to give temporary permission. So we say, sure, we'll give you a license, but we know in our heart of hearts, and as lawyers, it's the evil heart of hearts, that at some point we're going to rug them. We're going to pull the cord. We're going to pull the carpet out from under them, and we're going to take that permission away. It's an illusion of handing over control and handing over ownership, but without actually doing that. And Stop Killing Games wants to call that out, wants to change that. Now,
it's basically like if we're talking about, not necessarily, we'll just make it as an example, but this is the only example I'm thinking as of right now. If you are a person that is about to die, this is basically if this is just basically like an example though of this kind of practice though. You know what they mentioned, the evil hearts by League of Minds? This is actually like that. Like death is already coming to you, and the moment that you kind of, if you're someone else who's about to die and has a life support, at any time that life support will be just pulled out from you, and you'll just basically like die for good. Basically, that's how it works. Although this kind of example of mine is not really the best, but if it actually, if it does give you a very great example, or very great example, if I would probably say the right word, I think it's correlate or an analogy. Wait, hang on. No, not correlate. So have a mutual relationship or connection. Correct. It was correlate. If they actually have a proper, if I would actually give it as an example, that's the basic example, because everybody knows what's really death though, especially life support. Everybody knows what's life support already. That's how it works. Remove that life support and that person dies. That's how it's is an example. But I'm not saying this to anyone, but this is just a example and just a correlation on how this on how I also understand this, practically what Legal Minds is saying. Because I'm not a lawyer and I cannot prove it, but I can do some correlation and just understanding if I could actually understand the entire situation.
Now, what happened with this movement? Well, at first, it really didn't pick up speed. And one of the people that was blamed for this was the creator out there, Pirate Software.
By the way, Pirate Software, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen this guy just before, but I've never, ever communicate or contact with their community until just recently. Because from what I understand, by the way, I believe Pirate Software didn't really like, the Stop Killing Games movement, because I believe a lot of these people, by the way, are saying that he is a pro company, I think. I'm not really sure what's the right word. I believe it says like he's a pro company, and if you're not a pro, you're basically are non-pro consumers. Basically, you are the opposite of consumer rights, the pro consumers. It's the fact that he actually did this because, from what I said before, is that it will give a bit of a headache to the actual developers themselves, right? That's what he kind of understands. Like, it's like basically making the game like single player. Bruh, sure, the game is so single player, but he never actually, I'm not sure if he did mention it, because I wasn't really part of the research of this thing because I am so really busy on my school. But from what I actually understand is the fact that I'm not sure if he did mention like the servers themselves, like, you can set up your own servers. But if he doesn't said like setting up your own private servers, like to make the game accessible? I don't know. Did they say that? I probably don't know because I haven't really watched the main clips. But I actually saw this from Tectone, Charlie, Asmongold, yeah, those people. And I even saw on Twitter. I even actually mentioned my Twitter here, by the way. Here's my Twitter, by the way. And I actually also mentioned that. Where's my post? I keep going to my post. So this is my profile. And honestly, this is actually the Stop Killing Games, which of course, if you play the games, it should be yours. You clear support. I clear support. Honestly, I'm also 100%. I'm on the the Stop Killing Games movement, but I'm not really certainly sure. He hates. I think he really hates the the companies. He hates the idea of adding a end of life of support. I'm not really sure if that's what he if that's what he is understanding. But as I said, I do not have a proper research, but I'm just also reacting and also what I can give. But I also believe that Pirate Software did, or basically 4, actually, probably, yeah. I probably, I'm kind of lost already. Great. I'm so lost. But from what I understand, in summary, if TLDR, to be fair to me, he didn't like the support. He's not going to support the Stop Killing Games, and he is opposed to it. That's basically it. And what really happened after that, guys, is that in fact, instead of it being, he did actually have some impact in the short term, but Ross, I think his name is Ross, I think. Yeah, who started? I think his name is Ross. Accursed Farms. I believe his name is Ross. Accursed Farms. Yeah, Ross Scott. He's Ross Scott. So he actually decided to backfire and basically kind of like fight again, to the point that he was able to actually deliver a very significant blow on Pirate Software. Instead of, the Stop Killing Games wasn't supposed to be, reaching the 1 million signatures in a short period amount of time, but due to the fact that Pirate Software and Ross, Pirate Software's influence to the entire Twitch, I believe he has an influence in the entire Twitch, is the fact that when he has the influence in the entire Twitch, he can actually just persuade most of his viewers not to sign up. But due to the fact that a lot of his comments or even people didn't really support, or basically are opposed to his ideals or views, to the point that even Ross himself did actually clarify. I think he did actually clarify that, or even just mentioning that he was so close to the point of what Stop Killing Games is. And of course, due to the fact that Ross even actually kind of make it much clearer to the audience that this is the purpose of Stop Killing Games, which actually caused a strong backfire on Pirate Software, where instead of it slowing down, it actually accelerated the entire thing. It was the actual reverse result of what Pirate Software really wants. It's actually the reversed. I kid you not. It's literally the reversed. So in the end, what happens is, this is the reason this actually succeeded. And yeah, it's actually succeeded. And the worst and the hardest part in this particular is it's only available to European citizens. But remember, guys, Europe itself is a huge country. I'm not sure it's a country. No. A major, I'm not sure if it's country, but I would probably assume it is a country though. as a group country, a very huge group country, similar to the United States, where we have a lot of citizens, and they are the ones that kind of enforce a certain rule. That I still recall that Apple themselves used the Thunder charger. They were actually forced to use the USB-C because the EU government, because they really do not like messy cables, and they want to make sure that it's all union. All devices will only use USB-C. That's what they really wanted, though. And yes, Apple was taking the L the entire time. This is how much EU can be influenced, though. This is how EU can actually influence the entire rules of the actual the greedy part of the companies, though. They are basically like a danger into the company's, profits, by simply putting some regulations that can actually damage their actual product. That's how basically kind of it is. For instance, like the USB-C, Apple was forced to use USB-C instead of the Thunderbolt, which, I'm not really sure if there is a significant impact on the sales of Apple after they actually swap out, from Thunder, the Thunder cable to USB-C. I'm not certainly sure, but I'm pretty sure there is a significant there is an impact, but it's most likely kind of like a dent, though. I'm just gonna silent you go. So that's basically how it works.
Now, there's a lot of drama and stuff involving him, and I'm going to try to stick to the relevant facts here.
So,
very
yes.
relevant facts. But his argument, his chief argument, appears to be summarized as don't go the regulation route. So government regulation bad. I don't like that.
Yeah, the regulation is just basically, yep. I also did understand that, because I was also aware that EU can have a significant impact on something like gacha games. I can't really wait, honestly, to be fair, I really am, as I said, I'm also a pro consumer. I can't really wait for the EU to actually add I can't really wait to add a, EU, if I would say this again, I can't really wait for EU to add a sort of rule where if you get that certain threshold number, you're not going to get that 50-50s. If they will actually implement the anti-50-50s and the 100% and make it forced by 100%, my man, gacha games are gonna lose their mind. The gacha developers are going to lose their mind, except for the people that except for the consumers, because consumers would actually win. And removing a 50-50 by force and adding it into the law itself would be so interesting, in fact, that even Tecto might be celebrating the entire thing, because he's actually the gacha Jesus. And if you still recall that Staff of Homa incident, well, if EU was there all along and they already implemented before that kind of event, I don't really think that will happen to Tectone. I don't really think so. Because removing a 50-50 on a gacha game is like, yeah. But of course, there are going to be side effects. For instance, like a much higher chance of, games that will die, because the games itself, the games themselves, the gacha games are live service games, and if they cannot actually profit, they cannot actually, stabilize themselves, they will actually go EOS. And this is actually a big problem with Stop Killing Games. And this is where Stop Killing Games is going to kind of play a huge significant role in this actual place, making games that are already, obsolete or dead, still accessible to the consumers. But I don't really know if licenses are part of this, Stop Killing Games, because I only know that Stop Killing Games is part of the only good sides, which are the paid ones. But clarify me if I am actually wrong, because it will be very nice for me to understand it much carefully next time. But as I said, My actual real defense, the reason why I'm not able to research is because, in engineering, it's so freaking ridiculously hard that I have to do a lot of stuff, especially on the upcoming few weeks.
Like that. Now, I will say...
Also, computer engineering is just really ridiculously hard too. Hard, but not impossible.
To be sympathetic and to make a comment here, I'm no fan of government overregulation. In fact, I would say earlier in my career, I was very harsh against government regulation because there's many instances of government overregulation, and that can be a problem. That can kill industries, that can kill consumers.
Yeah, that's literally true. Yeah, sometimes over-regulation is kind of really bad. It's basically a situation with, if you're for instance, like AI itself. If I don't really know, but I believe on China, they have some sort of AI that allows AI to access some sort of data while driving. They could basically kind of like traffic enforcer. They could actually see the license plate. If you actually overregulate it, like for instance, a car was just, for instance, in a certain situation where there is a pedestrian, intersection where a car actually went a bit over by at least like 10 centimeters to the actual line. And if someone else is overregulated, that person will get arrested. But if the person is regulating, if it is not overregulated, just normal regulated, I think it's still considered as okay. But, because of human flaws, there should be at least like a bit of certain percentage of how much you can, a marginal error itself. Let's assume it as a marginal error. Basically kind of like having a bit of few errors percent. Think of it. Like if for instance, if our target is like 10%, right? 10%. Or if we're saying having a number of 1,000 and our number target is 500, half, I would still consider 450 to 550 range as a okay. That's basically okay. You're not literally on you're not really going over and lesser than that, like 449 or 551. Yeah, you are fine between those ranges from 450 to 550. You still are accepted. It's really nice to it to be not over-regulated, but being regulated. It should be fine because self-regulation, regulation itself, if it is normal, it should be fine. It's nothing really bad, honestly. The purpose of regulation, to be fair and to be honest, is to make sure not to do this and not to do that, right? But the thing is, some of the regulations are actually not that significantly bad. Even if, for instance, like the Stop Killing Games, it's not really that bad. Even if it was over-force regulated, honestly, the over-regulation of the Stop Killing Games might actually be good rather than bad, honestly, because it makes the older games become archived and still accessible to anyone especially who paid it. Yeah, it's not necessarily bad actually. In fact, overregulating is, overregulating a dead game, or the companies that already has a dead game that, consumers still love the game and still want to play it. It should be fine. For instance, like Stellar Blade. Do you guys know the CEO of Stellar Blade itself is like, he supports mods. Like, for real, he supports mods in his game because the game is always paid. If he is so he's so fucking base that he's just fine using the mods in the Stellar Blade itself because consumers have the right of the entire thing of the game because they purchase it. It's basically goods. But if, for instance, like if Stellar Blade, for instance, has a sort of servers and you set up a private server, I think you should be fine. For real. It should be fine. So if if the game itself already has an end of service, for instance, with Stop Killing Games, you are basically kind of allowed to create your own private server and do the fuck what you want with it, because it's your game. It's you own the server and you own the game. Basically, it's just fine. You can also update the game of your own without any significant issues. But remember, the only thing that the companies will not follow is that if, for instance, you set up your own private server, it's the private server itself is the one who already started the private server is the one that is mostly responsible for. Because it's your own server, it's hardware based. And by the way, I hate network I hate IT. Not really hate. It's actually my least favorite amongst all of the computer engineering. Because in computer engineering, by the way, we have internets like IT, computer science, like coding, electronics. For real. Basically, computer engineering is in the middle of computer science and electrical engineering as a whole. Electrical engineering or electronics engineering. Both of those are considered just fine for me personally. Yeah, I really hate, because if you're a computer engineering, you can actually just set up your own private server without any issues at all. It can be anyone, but if you can do it by yourself, then it should be fine. Can't wait though.
That can take away a lot. You do need to be very careful and very narrow when you use government regulation. However, even I, who am largely opposed to broad overregulation, understands that at certain points, there is a point at which there is a need for a larger entity, typically a government, but could also be a change in the law, to step in and fix things. There needs to
Can't wait for me. I can't wait for for the government to remove crates, or even let's say like 50-50 on a game, to be fair, that cannot be sold though. Honestly, I don't really see CSGO as a kind of I don't really see CSGO as a sort of a problem though, especially when it comes to the into the game, because the thing is, I believe CSGO you can actually sell your stuff though. You can sell knives for a hefty amount of money though, if you actually got lucky though. Basically, it's kind of like a digital market already. I believe that's how CSGO works. But if we're talking about gacha games like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, even Wuthering Waves, having 50-50s and 50-50s is just ridiculously just dog shit. Trust me, it's dog shit. But if the government steps in, yeah, they're gonna get themselves effed up for good if it is focused on 50-50s. I wonder if 50-50 movement's gonna be interesting too. I'm not someone else who has the power to do so, but I'm just imagining another timeline if that happens though.
to be a stronger power that is coming in to say, hey, you can't do this, companies, because this is wrong. You can't be doing.
Still recall this, guys? Still recall this? If you still recall this, I'm pretty sure you guys already know this. If you're not someone else who is on a gacha game, you should you might forget this. This will happen. Because the FTC is a powerful government that steps in just to protect the consumers themselves. Ooh, that's gonna be so bad for the company, to be fair. Because Hoyoverse realizes also that they're gonna get themselves clapped in the ass if they don't follow the US, because they could actually block Genshin Impact. The government or the US government can block Genshin from the major base of the United States. They could actually block the game, making the game inaccessible to the entire US. And we all know that US is considered as one of the largest consumers in the planet. And if Hoyoverse loses the US, the US players, well, they're gonna lose a lot of money. And the reason why they're doing this is because, of course, money. I wonder how the Nvidia situation is going on, because Nvidia situations, I don't really know what happened to the gamers, because,
doing this to consumers, because this is not right. You should not be doing this to consumers. It is essentially deceiving them. It's the form of deception. So I think Pirate Software came out a little too strong and was kind of straw manning some of the problems with this at first. And because of that, this didn't get much support. It looks like this wasn't going to get the signatures it needed.
Yeah, he did. He was able to actually stop. As I said before, he was able to influence his viewers not to support this, which causes a slow growth, or even the deceleration of its growth or its progress.
Needed. And it needed a lot of signatures, to be clear. Under the EU Citizens Initiative, it needed 1 million signatures.
Yeah, it needs 1 million. That's the reason why.
To get attention of the EU. I believe in the UK it was 100K. Now, that's a lot, and it needed a lot of people to go. And by the way, Americans using VPNs, yeah, that's not going to work. They're going to check it. They're going to check the list. You got to be legitimate EU citizens. So it's a lot. It's a lot to get that many people to sign a petition. And it looks like that wasn't going to happen until an incident with the very same Pirate Software and World of Warcraft. Now, without going too much into details of this drama, because of course that is logged very well in the annals of the internet elsewhere.
Wait, I never saw this one. I've never seen this one.
Essentially, there was some pushback against Pirate Software based on his behavior in a hardcore World of Warcraft guild. And after that, he caught some heat, and many of his takes caught heat. One of the takes that caught heat was stop killing games. People...
Oh, it was the source where he was forced to do, say the stop killing games.
Looked at that and said, wait a second. We have a problem with him now because of this drama, but we have a problem with a lot of his takes. We're looking at a lot of this stuff this guy's doing, and we don't like it. And stop killing games.
Because players kind of realize on how bad it is, but I'm not really aware of this part here.
Games, yeah, we don't like that. And more creators got the attention of this topic and started talking about it. And one huge one was, of course, PewDiePie, one of the...
Yep, this is actually a big deal. Yeah, PewDiePie is already considered as a big deal. If especially with the older content creators, yeah, if you saw this, if you see PewDiePie saying this, yeah, that's gonna be insanely, ownership, yeah, look at this. It ties, stop killing games, it ties perfectly with what I talk about, ownership of software and the games we buy. Oh boy.
The biggest creators out there on the internet. And he said, of course, thank you all for the amazing support on my recent videos. I love how much I can nerd out and share whatever with you guys. In the comments, I've seen some of you mention stop killing games. And I want to say I 100% support this movement. It ties in perfectly with what I've talked about in my video, ownership over software and the games we buy. Strongly encourage you to sign the petition, www.stopkillinggames.com. By the way, that is still the link today, and you should go there to look at that and to sign that if you're in the EU or UK. Or if you're outside, you should share it, just like PewDiePie says. And
just like what I did too. Just support the game, man. Just support it. You're fine. But since there's no people here to talk with, makes sense.
Of course, he wasn't the only one. People like Asmongold just dropping this week. 10 months and over 800K signatures later, the Stop Killing Games initiative is almost across the finish line.
In fact, I believe that the Stop Killing Games signature went from 400,000 to 700,000 in just a few hours, I think, or a few days. That's the acceleration is so significant to the point that the Stop Killing Games was actually becoming even more. It gathers a lot of people even more to sign in, which actually makes Pirate Software kind of looking bad at this point.
For 1 million.
For
if
real.
You're from the EU and care about game preservation and consumer rights, consider signing the petition. Stop killing games. So,
but it's up to but as I said before, I'm not really mad about I'm not really mad about pirate software, because I do also understand his situation too, especially when you do game development. It takes long time, but it takes a lots of long time in order for it to be built properly. But the main point of Stop Killing Games is just just add a single feature in add a single feature inside of the game where you are still allowed to access the game. Pretty much.
With these big names coming out, of course, things turned around. The UK petition got over 100K signatures. This is to prohibit publishers irrevocably disabling video games they've already sold. So it's updating the law there. And then you have the EU, and this is as of filming, is 14,000 from the million threshold. So that's 98% as of time of filming. I guarantee you by the time this comes out, by the time this video is released, I think it's going to cross this threshold. I think it's going to go over the Rubicon.
Yeah, I believe they actually reached already, which is insanely good too.
Rubicon here and hit that 1 million. Now, by the way, I would encourage you once again to go and sign this, because there may be some that they're going to go through in 1.2 million. So it's a clear mandate. And why is this good? Well, why are they winning? Why have they already won despite, not getting there yet, but getting there soon? Well, they're winning because people are knowing about this and they're taking action. There's a lawsuit against Ubisoft.
Ooh. 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 Wow. Ooh. Damn, bro. This is going to hurt.
Involving the crew that was filed in the Eastern District of California. Now, this may have some procedural issues, and there may be some issues with this based on U.S. case law, but the issue is people are stepping up and taking action. And one thing I've always said on my channel is lawsuits are not always the way to win. And the way to win effectively is often through citizen movements.
Yeah, with the public perception itself. If the public itself saw this as a kind of a good, they will actually implement it. This is a great example of Stop Killing Games. Pretty much. Stop Killing Games is considered as a great one because it's basically also a consumer right too. I kid you not. It's a consumer right.
People's movements, because at the end of the day, both government and corporations have to listen to people when they speak up and say, we will not tolerate this. We will not put up with this. We will not buy this. We do not accept this as legitimate. That is something that brings attention, and bringing lawsuits, even if those lawsuits are dismissed, corporations, and I can say this once again, having been on the corporate side, don't like getting sued. They prefer to not get sued. And if they see that a bunch of people are going to try to sue them, even unsuccessfully, they can say, look, can't we just change this with a little bit of work and make this in a way that's going to make everybody happy?
Because they would lose a lot of money, because losses are basically, very expensive, and you will lose a lot of money because the game itself, because the company doesn't, the reason why company doesn't want it, as I said, as mentioned, because, they want money. They really want money. And if they lose money, yeah, they're going to be doing the heck out of it just to make sure that this thing is, they will do anything in their power to make sure that, they will do what the user wants. I think they want to kind of like settle this already and not proceed to the lawsuit, because they know that lawsuits cost a lot of money and it's not really good for their profits.
And the win comes that, well, they've already made those changes. Ubisoft themselves, with the Crew 2, has said it's getting an offline mode. So that is already a W, with literally the sequel to the series that caused this problem, saying, hey, this is getting an offline mode. This is not going to be in the same situation. You're still going to be able to play the game, even if we no longer support it. I think that's a push in the right direction. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you have any other thoughts on this topic? Any deeper questions?
Because
On it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.
So in the end, the entire thing was pretty much, that was a pretty much, that was a pretty good too. I think he did actually, answer this. Oh, he actually did reply. The most interesting narrative is that my video somehow killed the initiative. This graph shows the initiative already had the downward trend in launches when my videos drop. My videos do not seem to have any impact at the movement at all, making me the villain did through. Best of luck with your next steps. Oh yeah, it did actually. Oh yeah, it did actually. Look at that. That's basically a delay. Look at that. He did actually he was able to, you know, he was able to, what's it called? Yeah, he was able to wait. Yeah, he was able to, you know, he was able to, fuck this. Actually, I'm really bad. Hang on. Let me try to find a way out to construct again. So, yeah, he was able to actually influence the actual Stop Killing Games initiative to slow down. Look at this. They really did slow down. They really did slow down. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I don't really know, you know. Yeah, they really did slow down. But the moment he actually backfires the entire answer just to make sure he actually did it on right time, yeah. Just to actually have a right time, yeah. And of course with Moist Critical or Charlie himself, you know, start chime in. Yeah, this made a significant impact because we all know that Charlie is one of the most respected content creators in the entire world, because he's considered to be a kind of like a internet Jesus, to be fair. And of course, with his influence with the entire audience, this caused a cascading effect that to the point that even PewDiePie was able to catch it up and basically just accelerate the process. This includes, after PewDiePie, they followed like Jacksepticeye, even some smaller creators too, like even Mudahar, and even, you know, some other people though. I never expected that Stop Killing Games really did start during the 2024 off. So it was last year. I believe there is no way that this I believe they say that you need to, on the EO part, that you really need to reach 1 million signatures in a year, because if they didn't reach the signatures in over a year, you know, I think it will be considered to be declined at this point. Well, what a surprise that he was able to, you know, yeah, he did really took the villain part there. And I can't not believe, you know, I cannot really believe that this actually, you know, when he was able to counter back his argument and he realizes how significantly downward it gets. Yeah. Hang on. What's the word again? Frick, I forgot. I really do forgot my words properly structured. I think he, you know, the moment that he responds, I think Ross himself gathered some information the moment he realized how much of an impact that Pirate Software did to the momentum of his Stop Destroying Video Games initiative. Yeah. And the moment that Pirate Software did have some beef within the World of Warcraft, I even never knew about it, by the way. I only saw the videos by other people though, for real. And of course, yeah, the initiative actually causes some sort of, you know, and after Ross responded back against him and basically clarifying everything on what the Stop Destroying Video Games initiative really was, yeah, that made a sort of a cascading effect. Yeah, that made a sort of a cascading effect, making him a villain, to be fair. So I wasn't really aware of this kind of initiative, to be fair. I was only aware around this part here. This is the part that I was aware of. Starting from here, I think, in the middle here. So, yeah. Holy crap. This made it accelerate so hard, to be fair. It made the signatures accelerate so bad. that it actually even succeed within just a few days. God damn, that's how powerful the internet can be, especially when information arrives so fast that, you know, millions of people can see. Even my video can be seen by millions of people. Wow. By the way, don't just look, you know. Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Let me react to this part here. Hang on, let me, you know.
The first breaking news. The European Citizens Initiative has crossed 1 million signatures. Except it hasn't. This is gonna kill morale, but there are two things going on here.
Oh,
The first we knew was coming. Every time somebody makes a mistake when they sign the initiative, their signature gets invalidated. So that means we need more signatures to make up for everybody's mistakes. It kind of reminds me of multiplayer games when you see somebody who just has no idea what they're doing, like they're attacking a wall or something. So in this case, we need to pick up the slack for the people who literally can't write their own name properly. That could be a lot. I've heard 10% minimum, 20% is better, 40% should be really safe. Or it would be, but we have a second problem. I've received several reports of people claiming to spoof signatures on the initiative site. First off, I want to say that this is not a change.org petition. This is a government process. Spoofing signatures on it is a crime. Please do not do this. They'll be checked later by the EU Commission, and my guess is the fake ones will get turned over to Europol or Interpol and they'll follow up on this. If it's coming from America, Interpol is known to cooperate a lot with the FBI. Now, will they prosecute people on this? I have no idea. Europe takes its political processes pretty seriously, so I would think the more it's being spoofed, the more they might send law enforcement after people doing this. Again, I would not suggest doing this. It seems like a bad thing to risk going to prison over. But the problem here is I am now in a complete fog as to how much this affects the initiative.
yeah. It really requires to have the, for instance, like 105,000. There should be a possibility, a percentage. Remember, in the world itself, there would be a percentage on how much real signature, real signature can it, you know. There's a margin of error. For instance, like if there is a 1%, you know, 1 million, let's say 1,300,000. There is a marginal error around roughly like 150,000 or even 200,000 fake stuff, because those are considered as errors. To be fair, those considered as errors, and I kid you not, those are considered as errors. And the fact is that having an error is, you know, oofed. You know, having an error can also be a pain in the ass, to be fair. So that's the reason why it requires you to be very, very, very careful. You know, not to mention, this is also a government process. Good thing he actually mentioned it though. So make sure not to be, if you are not an EU citizen, do not sign in, because it is so bad that it will cause a sort of significant problems. So these are considered as aftermath problems, where even if you succeed, there will always be something, you know, something like a mistake, which is a big issue too. Let me follow. Even Dexter though. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So in the end, Ross becomes the internet, you know, the game Jesus, to be fair. I can already consider as game Jesus because of his, you know, of his real goal, to be fair. His real goal is just pretty much just save the game pretty much from being inaccessible. That's basically it. Yeah, there's nothing else. EA is shutting down the Anthem service and the game no longer be playable after. No refunds. The book. 40,000. That's a lot still. Yeah, EA games. Yeah, everything is just Shut the freak up. I'm not gonna be doing it. I believe off-brand. Wow, this is actually considered as, you know, the off-brand though. Sheesh. Yeah, let me search that. I really am gonna be. I'm really curious about the heart. You know, what's the game again? Heart, I think.
In light of your
Heart. Yeah, it's Heartbound, I think. Where is it? There it is. I think this is the one. Yeah, the reason why it got overwhelming negative, I really want, I'm not gonna see. I really want to make it seems like I'm just on a bandwagon and hate this thing. I got this game way back 2017 and donated to Kickstarter. My name is, our credits are in it. So yeah, I really recommend buying this game unless you want to support the creator. I'm not really much of a reviewer, so sorry if this came off. It's a bit fest. I felt like I had some. Yeah, most of the people are. Yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm out, and I just am really bad at explaining some stuff. I actually admit. Maybe the reason why I'm sometimes kind of like chuckles or just laugh is because of how literally the situation can be quite a bit, you know, funny, to be fair. And, you know, it can be absolutely like a plot twist that makes you laugh so bad. It can also be that, but it is what it is. I'm out. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out. Signing out. Bye.